Big Friendly Swim podcast, and I'm the Big Friendly host. And today's guest is doing some fantastic things in the swimming world. The founder of Captyn, Saunier. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, for the uninitiated, could you take us through what Captyn is? Because we talked about this yesterday on a private call. But take us through what Captyn is and how it can fill in a space that really is unoccupied right now, because there isn't really any all-encompassing software to run a swim team. There's a few various things that people use, but there isn't one product that's mainly used by teams.
Right. It's funny. We talk about this as the less glamorous side of swimming, right? Coaches want to coach, swimmers want to swim, but on the other end, you still have to manage your team and you got to take the registrations, you got to handle billing, and you want to see the life cycle of the swimmer, right? Something that we really focus on is from the very beginning of that swimmer's experience as in their swim school or private lessons, being able to register for those lessons and for communication with the coaches and stuff and keeping track of their progress until they make it to the team, being able to go directly into the team from the swim school. And then even from there, once they graduate, going into masters, water polo, other aquatic sports, being able to manage, your entire facility. So truly looking at it as all encompassing aquatics. And specifically with swim teams being the anchor point, our experience is in swimming. We are swim nerds. We talked about this yesterday. uh so our passion is with swimming, swim teams, coaches, athletes. You're really just trying to fill that void and make it so that coaches can spend their time coaching and not being burdened by sitting behind a computer, because nobody really wants to do that.
So, talk to me about when Captain was founded and that initial realization of hey, this is something that we could do that could be really positive and beneficial for a lot of people.
Yeah, so it started off just from personal experience of running multi-site swim team as the director of operations and coaching down in Florida. And we are also starting a swim school and a lessons program. So we've got private lessons, we got multiple facilities, we got swim school, we got the team, we have facilities. So you have all this going on. And what we found is that there was this huge void of communication and the ability for parents to very easily register their kids for whatever program they're trying to get involved with. And so I explored different teams and different lessons programs. I actually traveled around parts of the country just to see how is everybody else setting this up. We had the benefit of setting up everything from scratch because we were starting this team, back in 2010, and it it was really eye-opening for me because I noticed that there were file cabinets all over the place. There were multiple secretaries in the offices, parents lined up out the door, just trying to do something so simple as just registering their kids, or asking to move from one swim school class to another swim school class, or asking how to try out for the team. A lot of this stuff that I'm like, well, this should easily be able to be handled if they just like pull up an app on their phone. Um, so after experiencing this and going and playing with different softwares, as you said, there are different software companies that they do a good job with one component, right? They do one thing, but that one thing doesn't speak to the other thing or the other thing. And so the next thing you know, you end up having to, redo a lot of the registrations or shift people's billing or manage your facility in different ways. So when I returned back to Florida and started looking at this, I'm like, I don't want to go down this path. And so I created something internally for us. I wanted all of our coaches and our instructors to be able to walk around the pool deck with iPads and their phones and be able to communicate, take attendance, do registrations, evaluations, all the things that you had previously done by paper and just using clipboards. Um, which is obviously not good on a pool deck either when you have just the wet paper and stuff and all that. So, and then you take that paper, you go back to the office, and then what do you do with it? You put it in a file cabinet and never see it again. So it really loses all of the benefit. So, it was doing this over a few years, and living in Southwest Florida, which has a lot of visitors coming in, just because it's nice in the winter.
Yeah.
Um, we had drop-ins that would come in, and especially master swimmers and some visiting coaches, they'd be like, what are you all doing? All your coaches are walking around with iPads, and it's like, I want that. I want to take this back to my team. So over the years, we and I was like, well, this is just for us. Like, this is not for anybody else. But you hear this over and over again, and next thing you know, you're like, okay, you know what? This actually we could be
Yeah.
serving. I mean, this is not just a problem that I had. This is a problem that is around the world.
Oh, I mean, it was a problem that
Uh,
I had too. Like it's a universal problem for coaches.
oh yeah. Coaches, administrators, even parents, right? I mean,
Yeah.
no parent wants to have to physically drive to the pool in order to stand in line to talk to an administrator just to ask a simple question. Or, in these days, nobody wants to pick up the phone and call anybody anyway, too. So, um, yeah, so that was where Captain came from, personal experience and solving problems that we know exist in the swimming world.
Now, something that this is like a tangential question, pretty much, but something that I was curious about was so like in a situation like where you're running a meet and you're posting those meet results, right? Is there a way in which people who are not affiliated with the team could pay like a Meet Mobile esque subscription fee to get those meet results?
Yeah, so in Captain, all your meet entry processes are done within Captain. And the cool thing about what Captain has to offer is that every single screen was built for the phone first. So if you're a parent, if you're a coach, you could be a coach doing your meet entries on your couch, right?
Yeah,
And no matter where you are, you're doing that. And then after the meet's finished, you can put those results right back into Captain, and anybody can access those in the same way that they went and did their declarations as parents or as swimmers, right? Declaring that they want to swim, or maybe even picking their own events. And same thing for coaches to be able to go back in and see all of the results. We've got some pretty exciting features that we're going to be releasing here later on this year too. That are gonna, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be
yeah,
pretty
sounds
awesome.
great.
That's gonna summarize a lot of this, the meet results and
Yeah.
stuff.
So talk to me about the personal background of the team that's created Captain, like where you guys came from, like what your background in swimming is, and like what brought all of you together under I say a metaphorical same roof because I know you're all around the country, but what brought you all together under the same roof to create this?
We've been blessed to have a fantastic team, and it's been pretty wild how everybody coalesced around swimming so well. We've got some people that didn't necessarily have a lot of extensive swimming background on the tech side, but quickly learn it after they're hearing all. We're
Yeah,
talking to teams and coaches every day,
yeah,
and so you hear it over and over again. But they find passion in that too, right? So most of our team actually has. I mean, we were all swimmers ourselves. We were coaches ourselves. We have friends that are in this community. It's like this is a small world. You could go from California to Florida, and what we talked about this yesterday. You're 1 degree separated
yeah,
from somebody in swimming. And so we see that with our own team too. And our team came from personal connections, right? So as we've grown our staff and the captain team, it's all come from other people in the swimming community that are like, this person's really good at this, and they could be, they could help with the advancement of captain and helping these teams and stuff. And so that's how our team continued to grow. And actually, we're doing that right now as we continue to hire new people as we expand our team.
what type of people are you guys hiring? Like from what area, like what fields?
From sales to onboarding, continuing that. One of the key things that I hold at the highest level with Captain is customer support.
Yeah,
So we want to make sure as we're growing very quickly, and we want to make sure that we're staying ahead of the curve to make sure that we can maintain a high level of customer support.
yeah,
Uh, we're we're not just a software company that's here to just like solve the problem of coaches being able to deal with the management of their team. Like, we want to be a part of the swimming world, a part of the swimming community. Like, you're going to see us at junior nationals next week, right?
yeah,
So we want to show up at these pools. We want to show up and sponsor meets, right? We want to be a part of it. We don't want to just be some system that people are using in the background. We want to be a personal company.
yeah.
um you know Truly help people.
I mean, I think like that, like personal touch adds a lot more than say like sorry. I came down with something yesterday, and I was like mostly fine yesterday, and I woke up today, and I'm like, oh god.
Oh no.
Um, I'm like occasionally muting myself in my recording software so that the loud noises that I'm making don't come across in the final recording. But yeah, I apologize again for the loud noises that I'm making. Um,
It's all good. We've all been there.
exactly. Like I think that personal touch will get a lot more people involved. They're like, oh hey, like I'm at a swim meet with my kid. What's this like booth here? Like I'm gonna go talk to them, figure out what this is, or like same thing for coaches. Um, but one of the questions I had for you was like, how many teams, if you have a rough estimate, are currently using it, and what's the rate of people signing up? And this will be a question I know coaches will want to hear about. Could you give me like a cost breakdown of like monthly costs or annual costs? Like, how do you guys break down the cost for using Captain?
Sure. Yeah. We're currently onboarding at a rate of 20 plus teams per month. So it's almost daily that we're getting these new teams coming on. And we're talking teams that are very large with thousands of swimmers all the way down to, even like your very small teams. Because that's another thing too, is being able to handle the full scope, right? If you're a single facility, single coach run team that might have 50 kids on it, we absolutely can help you. And we can also help with additional things like helping you manage, filling in gaps in your day with custom private lessons, letting you sell a package of lessons and then plugging them into voids in your day. That's more money for coaches,
Yeah,
right? It's not a, that's an area that is sometimes forgotten. It's like, this is a career, right? We want to help coaches advance their career and be able to get paid for the good work that they're doing. So helping them in those ways is huge, right? But also the big teams, multi-department is how we kind of consider it, or multi-facility, where you can break your staff down in Captain into individual kind of silos. So you might have your swim lessons program. It's all within the same Captain ecosystem for your team, but only the swim school people will see the swim school stuff. And then the team people can see, because the head coach might not care what the parent-child classes are doing with swim school. And the parent-child instructor probably doesn't need to see what's going on with the senior national group with the
yeah,
swim team. So there's a big divergent there. But being able to keep your staff in check, but also being able to communicate with everybody is a big deal. So we're growing at a very fast clip. Now, also, we want to make it accessible to coaches, so we keep it extremely affordable. So we're starting off at 129 a month, and basically keeping it at par or less than all of the competition
yeah.
too.
And that kind of leads me into my next question fairly perfectly. Could you give me a breakdown of like the specific like softwares or the specific like things that teams would use, like a Team Unify, um, like all of these different things that Captain encompasses into one like bubble, I guess is the word. Could you give me a breakdown of the software and how Captain like differentiates itself from all of these other from the competition?
Sure. Yeah, and I'm not going to say anything negative about any of these software companies out there because every one of them has served a great purpose in the past, right? This is an evolution of the
Yeah,
sport. And I think what we saw as the void that Captain fills is the continuity and the ability to, everybody these days, they're using their phone, right?
yeah,
So, like I said before, every screen in Captain is built for the phone first. So whether you're on and you're dealing with account stuff, refunds, charges, things like that, or you're on the meet entry side, you're dealing with results, you're dealing with evaluations for your swim lessons, or even members showing up, they open up their app with a QR code and scan into the facility. Now you can keep track of who's there, right? For master's programs, being able to sell like a 3 day a week membership, and it actually keeps track of, okay, well, are they actually doing 3 days a week, or are they
yeah.
sneaking in for that fourth or fifth day? And that's a big problem right now. No software can do all those things. It's either just the swim team, or just the meet entries, or just the facility, and it makes it difficult to manage when you're pivoting between so many different things. So um, it's an A to Z solution. And we've spent a lot of time and a lot of thought and a lot of communication with coaches. It's not something that, sure, we have experience with it. Just because we experience it doesn't mean that it's the only way to do it,
Yeah.
right? So being able to, go to these meets and go to events and conferences and talk to these coaches, we get more feedback that goes directly into the product from interacting with the people that are going to be using it than we would have ever gotten if we had just tried to do this ourselves,
Yeah.
like just by just guessing on some things and making assumptions. So um, yeah, listening to coaches, being a part of it, and we love that too. We're personal people. We like to, we shake hands and just like
Yeah.
have fun with other coaches. I mean, we're part of that group too. And I honestly, I think all of us miss the coaching side of it too. So when we go to these meets, we're just like, I love the
Yeah.
captain thing, but I also miss coaching. Yeah,
I mean, I think that keeps any new thing, any new product or software, anything new that's coming out, it'll keep it from going like I don't want to say stale. I don't know what the right term is. It'll keep it from going away the more you interact with and the more you get face to face with people because they can tell you what they like or what's not working for them. They can like you get firsthand feedback right then.
totally. And, it's also important on the less glamorous side, right? On the back end tech side, to be able to make sure that you're always ahead of the curve or
Yeah.
staying up to date with the latest releases of software, infrastructure, so that you don't fall behind. You can't get complacent with stuff like this. You know how fast technology changes.
Yeah.
So being able to stay ahead of that and always innovating, always adjusting and pivoting to where, technology is headed. Um, that's also got to be a focus of ours too, because we don't want to, ride off into the sunset in 10 years, right? We want to continue to grow and make sure that we're a long-term solution for all these teams.
Yeah, no, definitely. When I was thinking up like things to ask you about, I knew I had to ask you about what are the international possibilities for something like this? Have there been any teams that have reached out from international countries, or is that like something that's currently on the table?
Absolutely, yeah. It's actually a lot of fun. We go to conferences like the ASCA World Clinic,
Yeah,
where you'll end up seeing coaches from literally all around the world,
yeah,
and they come up to us and they have the same problems, right? It's like it's not an American problem, right? This is a problem that coaches from all around the world experience. And so our expansion internationally is imminent, right? So we're excited to be jumping into other countries too, and also working with national governing bodies, right? So we work very closely with USA Swimming. I know that there's some politics with all that, but the people on the tech side with USA Swimming are fantastic, and they
yeah,
truly are trying to work for the benefit of the coaches and the swimmers. And so us being able to, try to work with them and help, like what can Captain do as a private company help alleviate some of the burden from the national governing body, and not have them feel like they have to serve the software needs of the swimming world. You can work with companies like Captain to just make the process a whole lot easier and simpler so that USA Swimming and so that these national governing bodies can work on the sport, right? And focus on helping the coaches and the swimmers. So yeah, expanding. Internationally, and there are so many teams out there and pools, right? So it's not just the swim team. You've got a swim school, your facilities, your water polo, all that other stuff as
yeah.
well. um, so lots of expansion room.
So the last topic that I had to cover with you, and obviously, like if there's something that I haven't covered that you feel is important to bring up, we will definitely do that. Um, but I found the idea of like a Finis connection and integration really really interesting because when I was on a team, there would be like this list of things that like, hey, we need you to get this, and this, and like from both a swimmer's perspective and from when I was coaching, it was a struggle to both find the right things that I needed and to be able to help the kids that I was coaching find the right things that they needed. So talk to me about that Finis integration that you guys are working on.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. John at Finis and his entire team, I like to think that that Captain is building a company that is very similar to Finis,
Yeah.
that is very customer centric, right? You want to get in you want to listen to the coaches, you want to listen to the swimmers, and you want to make sure that you're expanding and growing with the sport. And part of that is, we've been bouncing ideas off each other for many years now, and we're excited to announce that we're about to release a brand new tool that is going to be first to the market. That's going to expand the opportunities for coaches to remove a huge burden from them, right? So when it comes to equipment and signing up for your next season, there's going to be equipment requirements, right? You need a tempo trainer, you need a snorkel, you need some fins. But historically, it's like either the team has to go and buy a bunch of stuff and then resell it, right? So they're holding inventory, it costs a fortune,
Yeah.
and they also have to manage it. But you also have other situations where the coaches just say, "Hey, parents, go here, go to this link and go figure it out," right? And then sometimes it gets shipped to the team, sometimes so
Yeah.
nobody really knows what's going on, right? It's like it's all over the place. So what this integration between Captain and Finis is Captain's going to have access to the entire Finis catalog where the coaches will be able to select the items per training group and be able to select, okay, this group needs this specific snorkel, but choose any set of fins from this category and a tempo trainer. So when the parent goes and they open up their custom branded native app, right? So a team can have their own branded app. They can open that up and they can see, okay, little Susie needs to have these three things. And so they can click the three things and add it to the cart. It gets drop shipped directly to them. So the coach can be very specific on what they want per group. So if it's Johnny and Susie, you got two kids that are in two different training groups, there's no confusion. And the parents can do that very quickly and easily. Likewise, if you're going through a new registration event, you can add, maybe you got one of your kids is in a swim school, you're signing them up for something, and maybe that swim school says you need to have these goggles, right? And then you got another kid that's re-registering for the team that needs the tempo trainer and those things. Well, during the registration of that, you can go through that registration and add those things to your cart at the same time. So you've got the registration and you've got your equipment, you've got everything you need. You complete that purchase and everything comes to you. There's not multiple transactions. You don't got to go anywhere else after that. So it's not just an alleviation of the burden for the coaches and the administrators, but it is for the parents too. So being able to get access to your equipment and stuff so much faster.
Man, where were you guys in like 2019? I'm just
Hey, we were building this, right? So
yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of work, and a lot of time, but
No,
it's
it definitely
fun to
is.
finally announce these things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um, no, that's fantastic. I mean, that's such a novel idea that I'm surprised no one has taken advantage of before. Um, is it just streamlines the entire process completely?
Yeah, like I said, we want to go A to Z, right? So
Yeah,
it's what is everything that you need, and let's consolidate this into the simplest process possible, right? Let's not overcomplicate this, right? I mean,
yeah.
get on the team and swim. So, or as a coach, just show up on the pool deck and
Yeah.
coach.
Well, Win, that's just about everything I had to cover with you, but I wanted to open up the floor to if there's anything that I didn't bring up that you feel is important to mention, or like a piece to this puzzle that we hadn't talked about yet.
Yeah. I briefly mentioned it there too with the custom branded native apps and websites. We're very interested in, the coaches and teams being able to portray themselves to the public in a professional way, right? So this is not just a team; it's a business that they're running, right? If you own a business or if you run a business, you want to portray yourself to the world in the most positive way possible, right?
Yeah.
So being able to help these teams brand themselves and get a really nice website, not anything that's a cookie cutter, that you see everywhere, but your own custom brand. Same thing with a native app. Once you have your members on your team, for them to be able to open up not a generic app, but your own app, and they can open that up and they can see everything in the context with your brand colors, your brand identity. You don't see Captain all over the place. It's for these teams. Um, that in addition to that, just continuing to help grow the sport overall. We're going to be at junior nationals next week, which is going to be really exciting. We're going to bring a few other members of our team there too to talk to some coaches, and being able to sponsor meets. We don't want to just show up at meets. We want to sponsor teams. We want to give back to the swimming community,
Yeah.
right? So, there's a lot of teams out there that run meets all the time. It's like, we're the only software company that does this, right? Like we want to continue to help grow the sport overall. So, and even having these meetings with you and chatting, we're swim nerds, right? We
Yeah.
love we love the sport. Our backgrounds, it runs deep. So I appreciate this time that we've had together today.
Oh yeah, me too. This was fantastic. I mean, I in general, if somebody wants to talk about anything swimming related, I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
And you
Like,
know what? It's funny because this is, like I said, it's not the glamorous side of the sport, but it's something that you got to deal with. And we want to make it so that you can have the glamorous side, right?
yeah.
You can have the fast swims, and you can have the great coaches, and not have the burden of the administrative side of things.
I mean, I've been interested in what you guys were doing since like I saw you at that Napa clinic in January. So when John was like, "Hey, do you want to interview the captain guys?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I've seen some of your stuff too, and interviewing John,
Yeah.
talking about some of the advancements with the sport, with the snorkels and stuff. It's fantastic. So,
I mean, I've been
yeah, you're going to
using
continue to
Finney's
see
stuff
us.
for I've been using Finney's stuff for like the last 12 years because they sponsored my high school team and my college team. So
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
when they reached out to me, they're like, "Hey, do you want to come like do some stuff with us?" I'm like, "Yeah, yes, I do."
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Great product, great company, great people
Oh yeah,
at Finis.
oh 100%. Like, I can't sing their praises enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. Well, when you have a fantastic rest of your day, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This will get posted. It'll either get posted over the weekend if I manage to like put everything together tonight, um, or it'll get posted like early next week.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Excited. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
All right. You too.